Okay, this is the June 12th, 2025 business meeting. Today we have a special call executive session for pending litigation and potential litigation. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second,
Second.
vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay, we just completed executive session. Can I get a report from the council?
Yes, sir, Mayor. The council met executive session to discuss potential litigation, potential real property acquisition, and personnel matters as allowed under those exceptions to the Open Meetings Act. The original documents required by state law have been signed and delivered to the staff to be included with the minutes.
Okay, thank you. We'll recess now and resume at 6 o'clock. Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our June 12th, 2025 council business meeting. I would like to welcome the Reverend Marshall Clack to come forward and give our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance.
Mayor, let us pray. Holy and righteous God, as we gathered here tonight in this beautiful building that you have provided, I plead the blood of Jesus, the Lord, the God, upon each and every member of this council, the mayor, the city, God, and all the people of the city. I pray, God, that we'll be united in one mind and in one accord. Lord, that we'll remember the prayer you prayed in Gethsemane when we make decisions for this great city. Lord, not my will, but thine be done. That's everything said or done here tonight. In the name of Jesus, we give you the praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start the council meeting tonight with a special presentation. I would like to ask Chief Hodge to come forward and give the introductions.
Good evening, Mayor, council, staff, and guests. I just want to start by thanking you for giving us time to make this presentation. But before we get started with that, I just want to recognize the presence of three guests that are related to this presentation. The first guest we have is Dan Beck. He's the LGRMS Director. Thank you, Dan. We have Butch Ayers, who's the Executive Director of the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police. And lastly, we have David Trotter, who is a law enforcement risk consultant, also with LGRMS. All right. Having said that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Trotter up to the podium.
Thank you very much. And Mayor, Council, and citizens of the City of Auburn, it is my honor and privilege to present this letter of achievement for the Excellence in Policing certification to Chief Hodge. And I will read the proclamation here. On behalf of the Georgia Municipal Association, the Georgia Association of Chiefs of Police, we are honored to congratulate Auburn on becoming the first certified city under the Excellence in Policing program. This remarkable achievement is a testament to your department's unwavering commitment to high professional standards in law enforcement. The Excellence in Policing certification was designed to help agencies strengthen policies, reduce liability, improve operational efficiency, and enhance community trust. By meeting the rigorous certification criteria, your department has demonstrated a dedication to accountability, transparency, and best practices in public safety. Your leadership and commitment to this program serve as an outstanding example to other cities across Georgia. This certification not only benefits the men and women who serve in your department, but also reassures the residents of Auburn that their safety is a top priority. Your agency has taken a proactive step in reducing risk, increasing officer morale, and positioning itself for continued excellence in law enforcement. We commend you, your officers, and the city leadership for your hard work and dedication to this milestone achievement. As the first city to receive this certification, you are paving the way for others to follow. We look forward to recognizing your department at upcoming GMA and GACP conferences and celebrating this significant step towards a safer, stronger Georgia. Once again, congratulations on this well-earned recognition. Thank you for your dedication to law enforcement excellence and for your commitment to serving your community with integrity and professionalism.
Well, I was gonna go outside in the lobby. What? Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Chief.
Well deserved.
Okay, now we're going to move on to council reports and announcement and staff. Okay,
Yeah, I got a announcement, downtown development survey that we've been using to gain information about what the citizens would like to see and would like to not see in the new downtown area. We're going to close that, I believe, tomorrow. We're going to close that tomorrow. We need some time to tabulate all the results, get it into a nice visual format for our town hall next week. So tomorrow's the cutoff.
okay.
When is that meeting?
Thursday? Or
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's also on the flyer. It's Tuesday
Yeah, there you go.
at 6 o'clock
Yep, Tuesday, 6
Next
o'clock.
Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
here at the complex.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Mayor, I'd also like to announce, unfortunately, tomorrow we've had to cancel our Food Truck Friday due to the inclement weather that is supposed to be coming in. We are looking at rescheduling it for a future date.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, I've got a couple of things I need to announce tonight. Starting at the next council meeting, we're going to have a public comment form that needs to be filled out prior to the meeting, anyone that wants to speak at the meeting. Now, there's nothing on this form that we don't already ask you already, and this will help the city clerk accurately record names, addresses, and individuals wishing to speak. It will also help make sure anybody who wants to speak will have the opportunity to come forward and speak. So starting tonight, the comment forms will be under the old format, and this will take place at our next workshop. Also, I want to address the video recordings of council meetings. I would like to address the recent concerns regarding the audio and video recordings of the council meetings. Recording the system, for the most part, worked flawlessly. However, we had recently had some technical issues that resulted in the audio recordings in a couple of meetings, the only audio recordings in a couple of meetings. These are the results of these are not the results of editing or intentional removal of the video, but rather equipment malfunction. Sergeant Farr has worked diligently alongside our IT provider to identify and resolve the issue. At this time, the system appears to be functioning properly. Please understand that technical equipment occasionally malfunctions and can occur. We appreciate your patience and understanding, and should any issues arise in the future, I would like to thank Sergeant Farr for the many hours that he has dedicated to correcting this issue. Thank you. All right. Moving on, we have a public hearing, proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Auburn, Section 17.60.214, single-family occupancy. Jack Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. This is a proposed ordinance amendment to update our zoning ordinance to put some limitations on the number of rental units that could exist in new subdivisions going forward. There have been several inquiries of the city of potential rent-to-own, I'm sorry, not rent-to-own, but 100% rental or all rental units where there's a trend, especially real estate trusts and investment firms to basically create subdivisions that would be single-family detached subdivisions, but they would be dedicated to rental units. Gwinnett County has seen a lot of these spring up, and basically what this ordinance would do it would not allow that kind of development in the city. There's a cap on the number of rental units that could exist in a new subdivision. Is capped at 10. This covers all of the city's residential zoning classifications. I'm just capped at 10% of the units in the subdivision. So you could not have a situation where you get a BlackRock or somebody like that builds one of these purely rental subdivisions. You have imposed this as a condition of zoning a few times to recent developments. It's not something that's comprehensively in our code right now. So the purpose, the reason for this draft is to just make it apply to every subdivision moving forward. There's a requirement that this provision appear in the Declaration of Restrictive Covenants, and it would apply to all of the units in the subdivision. This is a zoning ordinance amendment, so we have a public hearing. There'll be 10 minutes for anyone who wishes to speak in favor, 10 minutes in opposition. The staff is recommending approval. Your planning commission had a hearing, and they also recommend approval of this ordinance. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, tonight we will have a public hearing, proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance of the City of Auburn, Section 17.60.214, single-family owner occupancy. May I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So move.
Second. Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, now we will open hearings for comments. Does anyone wish to speak in favor of the proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance? Okay, we'll close that section. Does anyone wish to speak in opposition to the proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance? Okay, council, any comments?
I do for Jack. Jack, you had mentioned to me at one time why that number was set previously. If you could explain that again so that
You
we're
mean the
fully aware of the percentage.
Yeah.
What's the reasoning behind it?
Right. So, I mean, there are some federal fair housing regulations that take account of protected classes of people that probably include, lower income, regardless of race or any of that kind of thing. We had some concern that this ordinance not create any issues for us in terms of somebody being able to make an accusation that we were discriminating against someone because of their income level, that kind of thing. I can't afford to buy a house, but I could afford to rent a house, and if you limit my options to rent, perhaps I have a claim. The original percentage recommended was 20%. I think in your work session, you had a pretty robust discussion and came to a place where you thought 10% would be better. That would be a little bit more restrictive and discourage, continue, be another tool to discourage this kind of use going forward. So it was adjusted from the original 20 to 10, basically at council's suggestion from your work session.
Okay. And this won't put an arrow toward the city because of the lowering of it, because of the federal stuff involved in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to know if we're still being protected.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I can't guarantee anything, and
Right.
anybody can make a claim for anything, but certainly the purpose of it is not discriminatory, and I don't think there's anything in the difference between 20 and 10 that would give anybody any significant kind of claim.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody? Yeah. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn, to close the hearing?
Yeah, I'll motion.
Second?
I will second.
Okay. Vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Now I would like to open up the floor for citizen comments on the consent agenda. Each comment will be limited to 3 minutes for everyone to have an opportunity to speak. Would anyone like to speak? Okay, let's move on to the consent agenda. Is there anyone who'd like to remove something from the consent agenda?
I would make a motion to remove item E and item G for a separate discussion and vote, which is the 2025 local road
Right,
assistant administration funding grant and the Sixth Street Dog Park conceptual plan.
okay.
I'll second that.
Yeah, that really, I'm sorry, I mean, that
Okay.
doesn't require a second or a vote. It's just
Okay.
the
Josh.
consent agenda policy. If any member wants to take something off for discussion, then it comes
You
off
want to
for
remove
discussion.
something, Josh?
I'd like to separate off item F. I don't need a discussion, I just want to separate it off as a separate vote.
Okay. All right, with those items removed, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second,
Second.
vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, we're going to move on to item number 3,
Oh,
proposed
Mayor, I'm
amendment.
sorry. We do need to go back to the E, F, and G.
Well, I was going to put them 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So let's move on to the proposed amendment to the single-family owner occupancy. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I will second.
All right, discussion? All right, vote?
Yes.
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 Okay. Moving on to local road assistance administration funding, grant LRA. Ms. Iris here?
No, I was looking for it because I had a major
Yeah,
question.
Ms. Iris is up there.
She's right in the back. I
There
see
she
her
is.
now.
You didn't want to be front and center tonight? I guess I'll go at you first, and if anybody else has anything they want to add or tag on to, because it didn't hit me at the workshop when we talked about this grant,
Yes, sir.
with Fourth Avenue. I think we've got a lot more important roads in worse shape that could use this money first. I mean, County Line's one stubborn trucker away from a head-on collision with the shape it's in. I drove down Fourth Avenue again today. It's not, we have a list of roads that need to be repaired, and this was like sheet 3. It was way down there. I just think if we have that grant money to use, I think it'd be better to use one of our top priority roads that's in really bad shape. And I know County Line's one of them, and there was, there were several of them on there.
There are.
That you had listed in red, and that was just something I wanted to bring to the forefront. It didn't, I would have brought this up in the workshop, it just didn't, I didn't
That's
catch it
fine.
at workshop, it didn't register in my brain.
Yes, sir, that's fine. Now, realize there's no but to it, but County Line basically is on my radar to be completed. It came up this year, to be done through T-Splosh. But we are trying to, I guess, accumulate funding to get that completely done. What I've discussed with Michael and the mayor, was to go in and do some patchwork until we are able to completely, resurface the road. And that's gonna take time also. Trying to do patchwork on that road because the asphalt is so thick on there. We try to go in and cut it, and it's kinda hard to cut.
It's in bad shape.
So we're looking into possibly purchasing a piece of equipment that will mill out the areas so we can repair the bad areas is what I'm talking about.
That was just one that I wanted to use. I mean, you have
Yeah.
you probably have 30 or 40 roads on here that come up
Before Fourth,
Fourth Avenue.
Yes.
And Fourth Avenue's not our busiest used road.
it's not the busiest, and I think another reason that I chose it was because it's downtown and the renovations that are gonna be done downtown would kind of fall in with that. It would draw, more attention, visitors to our downtown, but I'll
Might
do
be
whatever's
something better looked
necessary.
at after the renovations are done and whatever maybe the contractor tears up after their repairs that, they fix, maybe it'd be better looked at then. I know you've got, what, 2 days, 3 days
To submit, yes, sir.
to list this, so,
And I have, excuse me, I have checked with Mr. Caleb Rhodes, yeah, on the timeline and things, because I didn't want to, I guess, have the road done and then him come in and him doing his constructions and things too and mess the road up, so I'm trying to work things out to where everything flows, you know, very freely.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of equipment moved up and down that road during that construction process. So
White.
That's what I had on it. Anybody else would want to know?
Yeah, what's the rough cost for Fourth Avenue versus the rough cost for County Line?
County line, I've reached out to a couple of contractors to do county line, roughly from Highway 8 all the way down to the city limit sign is about 400, 500,000. That's no striping. That's just to do the road.
Right.
Fourth Avenue, I got a contractor to come out, a couple of them to do it. It's roughly that 133,000 to do that road. And that would be from, let me think, Mount Moriah Road down towards Carl, jurisdiction city limits.
How much is that grant for?
The grant is $134,002.
If the grant was rewritten for County Line, would it be the same amount of grant, or would it go? It'd still be 134.
Yes. There's no match to this.
Is the striping on the Fourth Avenue included in that 133, or would that be?
No,
Would
that's
the
gonna be an additional cost.
in the capital improvement plan capital improvement project that you mentioned the other night?
Yes, sir.
Would this, if that project moved forward, would that striping be applied to these two roads?
The striping is not
In the
it would have to
CIP?
be, like I said, it would be an additional cost because we're crunching everything, trying to get the road paved.
By the time we get the money from the grant, because I know that, I mean,
It's a year out.
it's a year out to get the money from the grant. And then, so the earliest we could pave would be a year out?
The earliest that I was intending to put this out for bid was going to be April of next year, after the rainy season is over, and try to get it done in May or June.
Rainy season's never gonna be.
I know what it is now, no, it's every day.
Michael, can you speak to the, any idea about the timeline of Caleb? Will the utilities be buried by then, or will they still be disrupting the road at that time?
I mean, we're working with Georgia Power at this time. We've sent some information over to Georgia Power, Caleb has. There's a timeline on Georgia Power as far as approving the wattage necessary and that kind of stuff. Tebow at Georgia Power has not given me a timeline back. He just told me that he's got once it's evaluated, it has to go through the process of getting approved.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily approved through Georgia Power. It takes a process just like here.
So is 15 months reasonable for
Oh,
them to
yeah.
have it done?
I mean,
or-
I would say, from what they said, about a 6 month turnaround on Georgia Power, once they get the information that's needed.
Once we get the 134,000, do we have a time limit to spend it?
I had to have it submitted by the 15th of this
That's
Right,
day.
but like you submit it and then we get awarded that.
Yes, you get awarded it, and you have up to a year to use it, but you can roll it up to 3 years.
Okay. Do we have a, for lack of a better phrase, a current savings account for County Line? Do we have like a sectioned off, all right, this is how much we got ready for County Line, or is?
No, because that's going to be a T-Splosh project. So kind of what she mentioned on the T-Splosh, we've partnered with Bexar County because we have some roads, it's half Bexar County, half Auburn, that kind of stuff. So they did the bidding for us on those roads, which made it cheaper for us to be able to pave and pay our section of the roads. Mount Moriah was actually our next Bexar County T-Splosh project.
Yeah.
That we're major road, there's some minor roads, but major T-Splosh road. They've, was scheduled to start bidding on that. They came back and did not like the width of the road, so now they want to get an
still talking
engineer.
about Mariah?
Mount Moriah, yes. So they came back and want to widen the road, actually, due to safety concerns. So they have an engineer now that's going to look at that before they rebid it out for the cost of Mount Moriah probably being widened.
Okay.
And then after that, it would fall in, your other, next major road would be Auburn County line.
That was really just an example. There's 72 roads before Fourth Street on the list. And I just think it would be better served for now.
Yeah.
That construction's complete.
Yeah, that's fair. I do, I mean, I don't know where I line up on this, but just like, where it currently is right now, when Caleb beats up that road, it's gonna be awful. And that's gonna be one of our premier roads downtown where we want that to be as pretty as possible.
It's almost like a final pave before they open for business, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
Subdivision, they don't final pave till their last house is built.
So is your timeline for this existing around doing this road work prior to all the asphalt cuts?
Prior to the downtown renovations, yes.
So-
I'm trying to make sure everything is done downtown
Right.
before we pay.
So, for instance, with the sewer that needs to be addressed, the water and the power, there'll be additional asphalt cuts all down Fourth Avenue. Would this paving project go in before or after?
After.
Okay, so it would coat it afterwards. So,
Yes, sir.
so my concern with that, since you addressed that, thank you, is College Street had multiple cuts in it, right? For sewer advancements and so on and so forth. So I guess my concern, based on your answer, is the fact that Fourth Avenue, which is the heart of everything that we do, right? So my concern with that is it'll exist just like College Street did. So I'm fine with your recommendation as long as the paving is after all the asphalt cuts. Because I don't think we need to be riding down a gravel road for our
Yeah.
downtown, so.
Well, there should be, some liability on the builder as well to fix these roads as he tears them up for his, business. You know, he's building it. We don't go in and pay the subdivision road when they build it. They finish that after they do it or tear it up.
Right.
So that needs to be discussed as well, the responsibility of the builder on the road. You know, if he's gonna cut holes in it and leave it gravel and that's our responsibility to fix it, I'm not okay with that either.
That's a good point.
Well,
I'm
I
not
don't
either.
think he cuts for the sewer, right? Or the water or the power, I mean.
But it's still going to that project,
Correct.
which we don't have any money, income off that project to fix anything.
Well, no,
We-
but
we
this
can
is
water the
also.
plants and mow the grass.
This is also an additional funding, right? So the other roads that you're mentioning, we typically hit those pretty strong with our LMEG, which is
There's
pretty early.
72 roads in front of this road. So I say, wait till it's all done, figure out funding on that. It's only gonna cost us $130,000 later. Let's go fix a subdivision road that's all cracked up, or one of these other priority roads that's been sitting here waiting much longer than all of a sudden Fourth Avenue gets moved to the forefront of everybody. That's been patiently waiting for a couple of years to get their Alligator Crack Road fixed. That's where I'm at with it. That's why like I said, I didn't catch it at the workshop. It just didn't hit me. I don't think Fourth Avenue is a priority for this month.
Okay, I mean, I understand that. I'm just, I guess my concern is all of the work that goes into tearing the road up and then it being pushed off for another year. So we're gonna have a downtown road that won't get addressed for 2 additional years after
And
it's done,
also,
so.
excuse me, also, I know in our CIPs, I had put in for next year for the curbing to be redone also, along, that was coincided with the road paving. So do I,
I think you're gonna be 2
Back
years
off on
out
that, too.
before you'd even think about paving this road, at least.
I would agree with the curbing as well. And if you
Still
need to
gotta
know
make
the
Whistle
next,
Stop across the road, cut that all up to get
Yeah.
stuff over there.
yeah, the next subdivision is Dogwood Lane that's on the list. It's still in purple. Then after that's Hickory Ridge Trail. But you could maybe jump on Cabot's Ridge. It says it's partially completed. And then it just goes on to Jonquil Avenue, Scott Industrial Boulevard, Johns Bluff, Wingate Road, Second Avenue. The list goes on like Bob says. So-
now Dogwood Lane is supposed to be done this year.
Yeah, you've
'Cause
already
we have
set
put that
aside
off.
Dogwood
That's
and
an
Green
LMAC.
Tree, I
That's an
believe.
LMAC.
Yeah.
I see some completion
Yep.
on the list.
Yep.
We need to
I see the error. I see the
eliminate that
star.
and put a new list out so it don't look as awful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got.
I guess I'm just kind of confused because the reserves didn't exist whenever we started talking about Mount Moriah. So It's just now, whenever we're talking about downtown, so that's where, I guess I'm a little confused.
I just know we've got residents who've been driving through potholes. Fourth Avenue's passable right now. I just think we need to focus on roads that have been sitting there much longer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know we're getting funding for other roads. We're not getting it for all of those roads.
Right, no,
Just
and that's,
primaries.
and, I mean, I hate that we're arguing over a road. I mean, that's the important thing. This was an additional funding. This is outside of
I mean,
what
we
we're
don't have
typically
to
doing,
argue over it.
so.
We can move on and put it up for a vote, and you can vote yes, and I can vote no, and we can.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'll just,
Yeah.
and
And I'll just say for the citizens of Auburn paying things, we did put, it was passed up here, $250,000 for this underground utilities. That is coming out of our general budget if we don't get money from whoever Michael's been dealing with. Frustration or whoever. So, I mean, that's a huge amount of money that was voted up here to have that happen, and then to ask us for the $134,000 on top of that to do the road, and then ask the city to also pay, citizens pay, for the curbing on something that the developer's coming in and doing for his business. As Bob says, that the city is not reaping from.
well, I think it's also important this is a staff recommendation, not a developer recommendation. It came from our own hired employee, so,
That's
not
one
from
way
him.
over it. Just kidding.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Okay.
So,
Sorry I didn't see you.
I still got,
I'm used to you being secretary.
I just got, I got a follow-up question, I guess. So, how's it work? If we go for the vote for this right now, and we vote no, because you have 2 days to submit this, we need to submit something. If we vote no, how do you submit that, for that grant? How does it work? You have to pick another road?
I'll have to pick another road.
Yes.
Do we have,
I'll have to get the linear feet of it. I'll have to get another, I guess, cost estimate, approximately what it may cost, but
would we have to have another called session to be able to, before those 2 days are up, to be able to agree or disagree on what we're gonna apply that grant for?
Should you not already have a list of these measurements for these roads that are on the list?
I don't have all the measurements, no, sir. Normally what I do, Mr. Bob, is I go to Q Public and measure them that way. And then submit, to the LMAC, the approximate square.
So we vote up or down on this LMAG right now. You have 2 days to do it. If we vote no on this current one, and it forces you to choose a different road, do we have to come back, special called session to vote yes for the next one that she has in 2 days?
I think the technical, legal, the answer is no.
Yeah.
And I think if you're inclined, I mean, the proper motion would be to authorize Iris to apply for these funds on the next, not Fourth Avenue, but the next roads in priority. Just to make the deadline, you got a list of roads that have previously been identified and prioritized. If you want it to be something other than Fourth Avenue in priority on that list, it would just be a motion to instruct her to apply based on that priority list and not Fourth Avenue.
How do you prioritize things? Because I think it's also important, I'm not trying to ignore the information that I have before you. But it's also important to see what is actually used, right? So, a lot of times we get complaints that we're not paving roads. And so sometimes whenever we go into a neighborhood and we pave a cul-de-sac that's cracking, we don't have anything to show for, right? So just out of curiosity, whenever it comes to prioritizing a roadway, there had to be a reason of why you chose Fourth Avenue. I mean, so I'm kind of curious, because there's outliers outside of just the data sheet, right?
Well, she chose Fourth Avenue because of the downtown development.
downtown.
Because of the renovations that are going to be happening downtown.
Right,
And it's for, I guess, aesthetics, beautification.
sure.
That's the main reason I chose it, was that. Because like we said, it's gonna be all tore up. We've got traffic going in and out all the time. We've got visitors coming in all the time. Truthfully, I wouldn't wanna ride on down the road and everything else is done. It's up to par, beautified.
Yeah.
That would be awful.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It's the connection between two of the busiest thoroughfares to the city.
It's a big connection,
yeah.
thoroughfare.
It's used a lot, right?
A
So
lot.
that's where I was kind of curious of the prioritization
Yeah.
of how you deem the importance of it, so.
Okay. Can I get a motion? I need a motion.
You asked for a motion. I don't have her, I do have her list. I don't wanna pick out another road. I want her to pick out another road. I'm just, you know, this is a major list, and Fourth Avenue is way down here
Yep.
at the bottom of that list.
Yeah, which is why I was mentioning the usage of them, right? I think it's also to deem the importance of how often something is used.
Fourth Avenue's not used that much.
I mean, it's a main thoroughfare connecting.
You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be on county line, and one of them trucks is not gonna move over the potholes. He's gonna crush you in that little toy truck.
Look, I get it. Dude, county line is like driving down a gravel road. I
Or
get
you're
it.
gonna get
Yeah,
lost in one of those.
yeah. I get it. I get it.
Well, then you'll be
Well, I make
familiar
a
with Fourth
motion
Avenue when
to-
it becomes that.
To pass it and use it on for the next priority road, if possible, to complete one or, apply it to a major priority road.
That's your
Because I
motion?
know that we have a lot of roads out there, people have been waiting a long time. And Fourth Avenue right now is, yeah, it's coming, but it's not done. And I know we're not getting the money tomorrow, but that money will be available before Fourth Avenue needs it, and we can take care of something with it before then. If Fourth Avenue is only gonna be $133,000 to finish at that time, we'll find it,
Okay, so,
we'll take care of it,
so just understanding your motion, you said the next major priority road.
that she can.
Okay,
That-
yeah, cool. All right, no,
that
no,
she
I just
can
want to make sure the
afford.
motion was.
Because she's gotta
Yeah,
be
yeah.
able to go ahead and move on it, so.
Yeah,
We do need clarity on that.
Bobby convinced me. I got a bit.
Yeah, I mean, so the
I'm not.
I know you're not
I'm
trying to convince me.
short us, I'm just trying
No,
to
absolutely.
take care of people who've been waiting longer than.
You've won
this
me over.
Development that just started up.
Yeah,
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to make sure I understand the motion. That's
yeah.
it's-
I see the value in TJ's argument. I mean, and it's not TJ's argument, it's just an argument for that road. I mean, it's part of the downtown, but I don't know that I trust, construction always goes longer than it should. I mean, it always does,
Absolutely.
you know? And I talk to people a lot about roads, and the number one road I get talked to about is County Line. So we have an opportunity to apply a third cost to it right now. That seems like it's,
I don't drive it anymore too often.
I do. I drive it all the time.
It's bad.
My son drives it with a trailer on the back of my truck.
It just
I
drives
get
in.
worried because the trucks won't yield there right away anymore.
They're right down the middle of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll sit in the middle of the road, and you gotta run off the side of the road.
I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, you brought up a good point. You won me over. I'd say, let's go, you made
There's
the
a
motion.
motion. I don't think there's been a second yet.
So, right, so I'm just understand, because there's a discussion.
No.
The motion that's on is the next major priority road that
That she
Iris
can
deems.
apply.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm cool.
Okay, do I
Can
get a
we
second?
name, can I go further with that motion and name the road, County Line? Or do we just say the next higher priority?
I think the motion is the next suitable priority road, and then she would have some discretion to figure out how to make that work within the confines of this dollar amount.
The dollar
and,
amount, yep.
Yeah,
you know.
The thing is, a few years ago, I think they put a grant over in Cabot's Walk, and half of the road got done with the funding that they had.
It was like
Yes.
80 feet.
And the people on the rest of that road complained about the fact that why
terrible.
did you only do half a road? And I even heard accusations that there was a council member lived down that road's the reason he got his foot. I mean, that's the way it
What was it,
reflects out there. So I think it needs to be a road that we can actually do from one end to the other.
Right, well, and that's what Bob's judgment is
Right.
basing it on.
And I'm gonna leave it up to your discretion to pick a road that you can take those funds
Yeah.
and do the entire road.
Maybe completing Cabot's Ridge.
Iris, can you get it done in time?
Partially completed.
If we give you that leeway right now, we don't choose fourth, can you get it done in time?
I'll try.
Do you have the numbers for Cabot's Ridge since it's partially completed?
It's partially complete.
Do you have, maybe already have the numbers for that, and that would help that with that? And would this money amount
There's still a motion.
cover that?
on the
Yeah,
floor,
there's
so-
still a motion
There's still a
on the
motion
floor.
on the floor, so I will second the motion.
Okay.
So now we may vote.
But before we vote, I want to, she says, I'll try. I don't want to lose out on paving Fourth Avenue
This is,
because the clerical part of this is not possible. I don't want to put you on a spot. I
if we
just,
lose
The
it,
thing that I've got to do, I've got to contact someone tomorrow morning
Yeah.
to meet me, whatever road is chosen. And we've got to get a cost estimate to see if it's gonna fall within that $134,002.
Well, if it doesn't, can't it just be applied?
No, because you're running into extra budget,
You've got to
so.
complete the road.
The LRA would have to be spent on the 134,000 for the road that you, it can be applied to a partial of County Line Auburn Road, which you know that's not the total cost. Or she can find, a road that's gonna do 134,000. You don't wanna do three partial roads because the cost of moving equipment you're not getting anything paved. So it's gonna be, she needs to find a road for 134,000 that's high priority on that list. I would say we could go back at a later date, most likely the LMEG will come up again next year. If not, you can always come back for Fourth Avenue and use T-Splost. So if we already know that it's gonna cost 140,000 or whatever for Fourth Avenue, when it's ready, we just come back and use T-Splost. She would present that to you for a vote, and you would vote on it at that time.
It's gonna be that price when we come back.
Oh, no, I agree, ma'am. I agree. I'm just giving them an option of making it work and not losing Fourth Avenue because you'll still can use T-Splost. I mean, it'll still have to be paved.
I just don't want to lose this 134,000.
No, it
because
won't.
We can't find somebody to get a bid tomorrow morning.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
she can.
I can. It's
Okay.
gonna be tight. but
Okay.
I can
All
do
right.
it.
She
I
can.
can do it.
I got faith in you.
I got contacts.
Yeah, she can.
right.
There's enough people that she works with already in roads,
Yeah.
and we can do it.
That's fair.
Okay, can we take a vote?
Yes.
And tell me the vote again. Tell me exactly what Bob said. Can you tell me?
The next priority road
The
on the
next
list
The
that
next-
she can make
yeah.
the 134,000 fit.
Doesn't fit. Yes, yes.
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 Okay. All right,
That was a rough one. Sorry, Iris.
Thank you, Bob.
moving on to item number 5, placement of stop signs in Indian Meadows subdivision. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I motion to adopt this.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion. Okay,
Might we
vote.
pull that out of the consent agenda?
TJ
I'll be
can't vote.
abstaining from this vote.
He lives in that neighborhood, so he's going to abstain.
Okay, vote.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Thank you.
Moving on to item G, number 6, Sixth Street Dog Park Conceptual Plan. Can I get a motion?
I motion to adopt that.
I will second.
Can discussion? Okay, vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Moving on,
No, there's one more.
That's it?
okay, that's it. We'll move on to citizen comments. Citizen comments, does anyone want to make a comment?
Did we do the elevator maintenance agreement?
Oh, yeah, I'm
We got to
sorry.
vote on
That
that.
was
Elevator
on,
maintenance
that
is a
stayed
part of
on
the
the
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
it
on the
was the
consent?
consent,
Got you.
okay,
And we
all right.
did pass the consent?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, I'm like,
Okay, comments? Okay, no comments? That concludes the meeting.